So today we'll be talking about applications, custom applications in ServiceNow. So I have this slide for you where we describe application, and applications represent package solution for delivering services and managing business processes. So it's a package solution for delivering services and manage business processes. That means any business requirement that you have, if you create a solution for that, an application for that, an interface for that within ServiceNow, that we will call it as application within ServiceNow. So your business objective could be to create an application for your administration people who can utilize the application for their administrative activities. Your objective could be to help your people in the IT department. So any application that you create within ServiceNow, it can help the IT department people or any finance department people or HR department people or any other department people, any other business process that you have, whether it could be a workflow-based application that requires approval from different approvers within the organization, or if you have to integrate with any third-party application, pull out data and then show it into the ServiceNow applications, or if you have to create a project, an application in ServiceNow that will help you orchestrate data into some let's say Amazon, or you have to orchestrate into Microsoft Azure or any other cloud provider. So all this kind of applications you build where you give some sort of functionality to the application and there is some business process involved, right? So that package solution that we create for our users will be called as application within ServiceNow, right? And we saw it yesterday where applications had application files, then it had modules, it was associated to tables, it was associated to a form UI, and it had business rules and other business business logic governing files and folders, files as well within it, right? The things that we could see in editor. So all these components will be contributing in creation of application within ServiceNow. Okay. Now the ServiceNow platform offers several standard applications such as incident, problem, and change. These are standard applications. So when you buy ServiceNow license, you will get these applications as is. All right. So administrators can also develop and manage custom applications to meet business needs. By talking about applications, we are actually talking about custom business applications that administrators can create within ServiceNow. Right? When building applications on ServiceNow platform, application developers can take advantage of existing platform features such as security access controls. So we have access control rules or security access control, which you can utilize to provide, or to limit users to access different areas of the application or different, different form of data that you have related to the application. You can secure that data using the security access control available in ServiceNow. You can utilize workflow. So ServiceNow has a workflow feature available in it. So by creating this custom application, we can utilize the workflow feature available in ServiceNow and get the approval process that you might have within the organization included into the application that you are building. Right? You can also make use of reporting feature available in ServiceNow. So the default reporting features that you have available in ServiceNow, you can utilize that reporting feature for your custom application that you are building, and that reporting feature can be utilized by your consumers. Then it also talks about notifications. So ServiceNow has that notification engine available in it where you can create notifications for different events within your application, and The notification will be automatically triggered as and when those events are met or those conditions are met, right? So, and notification as well as existing public data such as user and task record. So it talks about user and task record as a public data because these are the tables that we have into the ServiceNow system, the system user table or the task table where each of the task records that we create from any of the applications like incident or change or any other custom application that we are building. If we are extending the task table, we are pushing data into the task table as well. That will give us exposure to the public data that we have into ServiceNow. Make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So
Yes.
we'll start. We'll directly jump onto um, creating a custom application for us. But before we do that, I am taking you through one example application that we have here, the case that we have, and then we'll start building this application in our instance and see how we can build that. Okay, different areas of the application building we'll be seeing it. Now this example I have taken it from ServiceNow website, and this example scenario, the business need that we have is to create an application for the finance department within the organization. Right now, the requirement is there is a finance team who is supposed to organize different marketing events for the products the company has. For example, I am from Microsoft and I want to do a roadshow for Microsoft Azure, one roadshow for the hardware products that we are dealing in, another roadshow for, let's say, Microsoft SQL Server, then the new features for .NET. So these kind of roadshows or events or conferences I want to organize for Microsoft. And to organize these, conferences, Microsoft has to expend a certain amount of money, and that money has to be approved by certain people within the organization. And to organize that marketing event or conference, there are certain requirements of certain equipments. So you will have a interface where you will request for different equipments which is required for the marketing event. Each marketing event that you organize may have different equipment requirement. So that interface will take care of what all equipments can be requested for what all marketing events. Now, when you have the marketing interface ready and the equipment interface ready, then you have to get registrations done, registration from the attendees. So you have to invite people to join those marketing events, and you have to provide an interface for the people to join that marketing event, right? So they will basically use that interface and register themselves for the marketing event they are looking to join for. So this is the kind of requirement we have. We will try to create different screens that will include all this information. We'll try to create different components which will be required to create this application within our instance. Okay. Now to summarize, here's the application requirement. To help meet the needs of the company, build an app that will meet the following criteria for each stakeholder, right? The requirements are the marketing events manager. It will be a centralized location to manage all details of the event, including required equipment, attendees list, and attachments. And it should provide ability to provide real-time status. Marketing people manager, visibility into all aspects of the event, ability to track performance. IT administrator, easy data import and legacy system. So here in this requirement, we'll also see how to import data into the systems. If we are able to configure LDAP on a server, we'll try to integrate LDAP as well with ServiceNow and pull data into ServiceNow database from LDAP, right? And then we'll have an attendee interface which will will act as a self-service intuitive registration process interface, and it will send out timely email reminders to users as well. So we are going to take care of email notifications, and we'll try to trigger those email notifications based upon certain events or based upon a timely manner. Now, the sample application requires three database tables created. Number one is marketing event, number two is equipment request, and number three is attendee table, right? Attendees. So marketing event table will have one-to-many relationship with the equipment request, meaning one marketing event can have multiple equipments requested for it, right? So that relationship has to be maintained when we create that table, right? Now the table structure for the marketing event is as is. So here we see this structure. So we'll have to create the table accordingly. Now let's jump on to the instance. I got this new instance to start working on this, because the old instance I already have that marketing event created. So I am going to use this another instance, and I'll be creating the application here in this instance. So to create this application, I'll jump onto the application navigator and type in applications within it, go to system applications, and we'll go to applications here, right? So you can go to studio as well. So as you choose, if you click on studio, it will take you to the IDE where you can start building the, you can open studio to see if any custom application is built already, or you can create an application by hitting this go button for the create applications here, right? If I go on applications, I see um, a page that contains different information. Uh, there are few tabs. These tabs say, develop downloads and updates. So if you have developed any application already, that will be listed here into this section. Downloads, it shows that all those applications which were downloaded by this instance, which came by default into this instance, meaning the applications which were provided by ServiceNow as example to us. So those will be listed out here, right? So these are the installed applications we can see here. CMDB content, code search, etc. These are the applications which are installed. There are no updates available. So this is the information available. You can use the search applications control to search through the applications if you have multiple applications here. Now if I click on this new button, it will take me to this page where I have several options available. Start from scratch, create custom application, start from a service, start from a template, right? Start from a template, it talks about, create an advanced task-oriented solution instantly by starting from a template. Get head start on enterprise grade service management solution right now. So see, start from a template is, you have to activate a plugin within ServiceNow. When you activate that plugin will provide you a template application that you can use, right? So that means that it will have certain components created already. You will use that template to create that application, right? So you can use this one too. And to activate the plugin, you can hit this plugin button. Requires plugin activation to activate the plugin. Or the other thing is that there is a plugin module here into ServiceNow that goes into system definition. So you can go into the plugin module and you can find out the plugins that you want to activate. Right? I think I have not talked about this plugin, so I'll give a couple of minutes on this system plugins and talk about it. So what these plugins are? So these plugins are uh, we these plugins are options provided to you which will enable you to, which will allow you to activate or deactivate certain applications within ServiceNow, right? So this is a way of distributing applications to different instances. For example, you might not choose You might not like to have this API analytics activated within your instance, but somebody else might have the requirement to get this activated into the their instance, right? So this plugin gives you an ability to activate or deactivate desired components that you want to have within your system, right? For example, if I go into the application navigator and I try to search test management, do I have this test management application here? I do not have a test management application here, right? But ServiceNow provides me a test management application which is available as a plugin within the system plugins here. So if I go into the content pane area here and try to search test management, so it shows me an application here, one plugin here which is test management, and it shows me the status of this test management is inactive, meaning this application is available here but this is inactive. Now, if I open this test management, it will tell me what this plugin is, right? Reading from the description, it says plugin for supporting test management in IT projects, right? Now, this application is available in ServiceNow, but is not activated by default. So you can activate it now. You can use this rated link here. Click on Activate Upgrade. So doing that, it will activate the plugin into your instance if it is not already activated, or it will update the instance if the instance is activated but not updated, right? So, so let's quickly activate it and see what it does to us. So I'll do test management activation and I'll choose load demo data as well for this instance, this developer instance, so that I have enough data to see how this application functions. And I'm going to activate it. When I hit activate, this will take a few minutes, maybe one or two, and will activate the test management plugin for my instance. Any question as of now?
No.
So you will see, plenty of plugins are available within ServiceNow which are not activated by default. And then some of these plugins are also available here. If you go to the developer.servicenow.com, in real time, when you have a licensed ServiceNow instance, then you will have to go to Hi. ServiceNow Hi is an interface where uh, customers are allowed to have all these kind of management instance management features where you can use your customer care. So there you have the customer care portal. You can request any support ticket from the ServiceNow High console, right? So on the ServiceNow High console, you will have different options available for you that you can utilize to either request plugin, if you have to get your database backed up, if you have to ask it for manually to the customer care team of ServiceNow, so you can do those kind of activities from their ServiceNow High screen. On ServiceNow Developer, we have this action button here, and then we have this activate plugin. So these plugins that we see here are in addition to the plugins that we had into the plugin section here. So these are separate plugins that is available here that you can see. Some of these plugins will be very useful to look into and find out information for. For example, if you want to do discovery you have to activate it here from here, and then it will be available within this application, right? If you are to do event management, you have to activate it here. Microsoft Azure management application, activate it here. Orchestration, you have to activate it here. Orchestration for Amazon EC2, you have to activate it here. So these plugins need to be activated from here in the ServiceNow developer portal, right? So now the test management plugin has been activated on this instance. Now let's go and see if it has done something for us. So I'll refresh the instance. And now I'll go into the application navigator and type test management. Now when I type test management, I see this test management application coming in, having having 6-7 modules that we have here, right? And now I can utilize this application, you know, to create test suites or create test cases, test plans, or maintaining test environments, right? So this ServiceNow application, which was not activated by default, right? Now we have activated it by activating the plugin from the system, system plugins, and this can now be used by your team. And if you do not need it, you need to go back to the system plugins and then deactivate again, right? So this is how you can activate or deactivate plugins to get those applications working for you. All right. So we go back to applications. I'm going to use the first option, which is create application from scratch. So this gives you an option to start with the blank slate with building workflow, activity, or API-based applications or components. So I'm going to create this blank application for me. And then here we have to provide the application name. Now before we do that, I'll quickly take you to this settings here, which opens up this pop-up, and I'll make you see this application settings here. The application setting right now is global, and I have these 4 or 5 applications available here. So we are into the global application, and we have this update set as default of global, right? So we leave it as is, and then let's name it. I'm going to name this application as we saw, marketing events, right? So when I type in the name of the application, it also creates a scope for me. So this is a private scope for this application. By default, applications will have private scope within ServiceNow, right? So using this application creator, we are creating an application, and it also creates one scope for me. That application, that scope will be the application scope, and it will be private to this marketing event application scope, right? Let's hit this create button. When we hit this create button, it asks for a confirmation. Let's do OK, and it starts the application creation process. It has now created it, and now I have to hit edit. When I hit edit, it opens up the studio and takes me to the studio where I can go ahead and create different other components to the application, right? If I go back to my ServiceNow instance here and type marketing, the marketing event application is not showing as of now because there is virtually nothing available in the marketing event application right now. So as we go and include different modules to this application will become visible here into the application navigator, right? Now I am on.
Rahul, one question.
Yeah.
Um, so service catalog is a one of the kind of applications we can say.
Yes.
Okay. So if we have to create some new functionality under the service catalog, then we will not going to create an application. We will create that under the service catalog existing application itself.
Right. Right.
Okay.
You can do that, and there are several ways to do that. So within service catalog, you could create, let's say you could create an order guide. You could add items to the order guide, or you could create a record producer that will be utilized to produce records for any other application as well. So there are different ways you can, put your modules within service catalog application and utilize that. We'll do a couple of examples on service catalog as well. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. No, actually, you know what? Why I asked this question is, I thought this application and service catalog is the same thing. This is a like different thing, So like if I have to develop one service, so I have for a service catalog, I have to go to service catalog only. The application means is a totally a different concept altogether, right?
Uh, See, these are same lines, but service catalog is slightly different because you know the tables that we refer to the service catalog is a different table. Um, the tables that we use in custom tables will be a different table, which will our custom tables that we are going to use. The
Or
item, yeah.
or let's talk about one requirement. Okay, let's say I have to create one project. There is a project called you know I mean when you create uh, there is an application to create a project online, and then you have that project, all project data under your company is available at one table, okay, which is called a project table, and the resources are associated with that project. Okay, so now what I'm doing is the requirements like that is now what I'm doing is I'm creating a project online, and then I have option that choose the resource from the existing project, which are free, and I can see that on the UI, or you can put a new resources name there, and when I hit submit, it will create a project and the number of resources associated with that project. The next thing is I'm going to send an email to them saying there is a link in that email saying that okay, please sign this e-sign document to acknowledge that you are assigned to this project. Okay,
Mhm.
so so this is a kind of a requirement. Okay, now when we are creating this marketing eventing application, you know um, this application module, you know there is a there these application modules have a workflow associated with that particular application. It could possible, right?
Right,
Right.
right.
So let's say marketing, one of the marketing event module is there,
Mhm,
so which has different approval we need to take to
mhm.
arrange, to execute that event. For example, we need senior management, finance management
Yep,
approval, this and that, right?
right.
So if the workflow is a part of an application for that module, it means a service catalog in a one way is
Mhm.
also an application.
Yes, exactly. Service catalog is also an application. You have a service catalog workflow as well that is attached to this application,
Mhm.
right?
Okay. So right. So what I'm trying to ask you actually, Rahul, the question, my question was, if I have to develop a one service as a self-service under the service catalog,
Hmm.
do I can create as an individual application, or I can create under the service catalog,
I,
you
I
know?
think I think that you should create within service catalog ideally, unless you have any specific requirement to have that as a separate application. So all
Okay.
items, all the modules or interfaces that you have to create related to certain ordering items or getting the self-service items kinds of stuff. I think you should put that within service catalog. All the custom requirements, custom business requirements you have, you should put that as a separate application and use it. Now it totally depends how you decide, how you want to show those applications to a user, whether within service catalog or within, custom applications. You may decide and take a call on that as well. But it,
Okay.
but
So
yeah,
application has a could be so workflow, web services, that import sets can be a part of a application,
right,
right?
right.
Okay.
These, so this example that we'll be doing will be
Hmm.
doing all these components. We'll be doing workflow. We'll be doing Web services integration will be importing data into these tables that we are going to create. We will be using all the UI components, UI policies and business rules and scripts. Script includes into this. And yeah, I think,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So if you have any
Okay.
other business scenario or business process that you want to implement, maybe you can write that down here on some some Word document, something, and then we can
Mm,
start working on that business application instead of using this marketing event application, because marketing event application is already created. I have created it into my instance. You can make use of this. If we have any other business process, we can write that down and create that application, or you may take this as an exercise, and you can build that, and we can see how you have built that, right? And so
okay.
either way.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. And onboarding is a existing plugin available, like onboarding process. Like I can pull the data. Like we have onboarding process we build up on our own. We pull the data, a scheduled job,
Mm-hmm,
from the PeopleSoft.
mm-hmm,
Then we store the data in our table,
mm-hmm,
which is, and then what we do is we process each record from that table, and then we send an email to their supervisor saying that, please, again, we click on this link. It will open one form, and that fill up that form and submit it. So
mm-hmm,
that form has everything, like where that person is going to sit, what are the equipment you needed, what are the credit card, blah blah blah, exist
mm-hmm,
all logistic
mm-hmm,
information you have to fill in that form and submit it.
mm-hmm,
And then it will create an incident ticket for each concerned team, like for telephone, messaging, networking, active directory team. For each one we create one incident ticket.
mm-hmm.
That kind of a onboarding process, I guess, that is already exist. It comes in inbuilt in the service now, right?
Uh, you can make use of import sets to onboard all your users on a defined frequency. For example, you could write a import set script within ServiceNow that will pull out data from PeopleSoft or any other Active Directory or
Hmm.
LDAP, and that will be updated within your ServiceNow on a defined frequency. So if you see there is a
No, no.
Hmm.
What I'm asking is this onboarding application is an existing application already in the service now or not, or
No,
we have to build it?
I am not aware of any onboarding application. I am not aware of
Okay.
any onboarding application. You have to build it. So you bring data into ServiceNow, and top of that, you can build an application. Let me
Yeah.
see.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I am not aware of any ServiceNow onboarding application per se. Quickly doing a search on Wiki. Employee onboarding with service catalog. Let's see if it
See,
is
HR service management. Yeah. I guess under that module that is available.
within HR service management. Right, so
Yeah.
let me see.
We have our.
So let me quickly go ahead and activate the HR plugin first, and that will show
Sorry,
us.
I deviated you
No
on
problem.
from other side, but
No
I
problem.
wanted to understand. Like, yeah. Okay.
No problem. So let me search for HR and then human resource. If it is there, it should be into the human resource core application, I'm guessing. So activate this. Looks like it goes into the HR application. Let's see.
It is service management core, glide, content management, database storage. No, I don't think so. Provide self change, provide provides key change management.
These are requirement for this plugin. Required
Okay.
service management core.
Requires service.
And description provides case and change management for HR. Activation of plugin on production instance may require a separate license. Alright. Let's give it a show. HR. But we'll have certain information. This goes as part of HR application. See the thing is, it may require a separate license for you, right? So this option may not be treated as a default option available for everybody using ServiceNow.
Okay. If you make me presenter, I can show you one slide.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. So I just searched it and I found it something doc. What it says is employee onboarding HR workflow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Review the detailed overview of HR automated process for employee onboarding. I guess you are right. We need a different license for that.
Yeah.
So to design a new customized predefined workflow, you typically work with someone in your organization who has experience. Blah blah blah. But it says after the request. So I don't know whether it is. Yeah. Onboarding case is cancelled. So, but it has something they are talking about, right? Review
Yes,
the details.
yes, you have. So, yes, you have.
Share and
The thing is, what I was telling is, you do not have as a default package available in ServiceNow, right? So this way, if you go ahead and see, there are several applications available already into ServiceNow, which are not activated by default or which need a separate licensing, right? So the business cases
okay.
that you might have within your organization are already taken care by ServiceNow, and ServiceNow has created certain applications for that here within their ServiceNow suite of products, right? But then they might need a different licensing for it. So people might choose to
Oh,
create their own application, or they might pay for the license cost for that application and then make use of the application created already.
okay. So I think it like a SAP where you purchase for PeopleSoft, then CRM, or
Right.
kind of a thing.
Yep.
I think it could. Yeah. Okay. No issues. Yeah. I thought you might know about this. That's why I asked that question.
Mm, okay. It's 76% completed. So these HR applications are the application HR application, or let's say the project portfolio management application. So we have a project portfolio management application as well that contains project portfolio suite that gives you all the project management capabilities within it. Right? So these go into different training areas, so which is specific to these domains that we are talking about. Project management or human resource management or financial management or procurement management. So these goes as a separate, these are separate tracks that we have, right? by creating custom applications, you can create your own, applications which will fulfill the requirements of a human resource department or fulfill the requirement of a financial department or any other department. So two ways, you can create your own custom application for that, or you can utilize their application by paying for licenses they have created for these applications or these tracks. Okay,
Okay.
this suite is now installed here, this plugin. Let me go to human resources now. Alright, it should have, yeah, we have this onboarding dashboard. Let's look into, I haven't, to be honest, I haven't looked into this HR application
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
as of
there are
now.
so many things. So yeah, it understood.
Yeah. Alright, it looks like we have certain things here. The HR onboarding process. Uh, so this HR portal will give you something to connect with PeopleSoft or Active Directory. Somewhere it will give you that ability. Okay. It must have that connector, functionality available somewhere. So you will make use of that. I mean, we can look into, uh, we can
Yeah, yeah,
find
that's
out,
fine. That's fine.
right? So
Yeah, we can always. Yeah, no
we
issue.
can look into and find out how to connect with
Yep.
Active Directory or PeopleSoft and then pull data onto this HR application, and this HR application will then take care of all the onboarding process, shoot out
Yep. Yep.
reminders, emails, etc. whenever needed.
Well, how we connect to the PeopleSoft is like Oracle database, right?
Right.
So they give us one connection or one view
Mm-hmm.
where you give a server name and you fire a query on their SQL server,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, Oracle server, and
Mm-hmm.
it will create a view in a SQL server
Right.
basically. So
Yeah,
there is a
basically they will open
like
up a port for you, and using that port,
yeah,
and
exactly.
yeah, using
Mm-hmm.
that port you will pull data. So whatever schema they
Yep,
have exposed to you, you will pull data using queries that you have written or they have written,
exactly.
given you those information. So
Right.
here, so
Mm-hmm.
if you are doing it yourself, if you go to import sets,
Mm-hmm.
and if you are to, run import sets, I'll go into a, you know, default import set which is already created. Doesn't look like it has one. I'll show you quickly. It should be here. So let's take this example. So if you go into, import set, you open up the data source. When we do import from Oracle database, so what we have to do is we have to name this data source here. We have to provide something in some information like import set table where you will store data when you are importing from Oracle. So
Correct.
you will provide the import set table name, the staging table name here, um, and then you will put the type as JDBC because we are going to use this JDBC connector to connect to Oracle database. If we are making use of mid servers, we will talk about mid server later. If you are making use of mid server, you will put the mid server name here, and then you are identifying what format of database you are going to use, meaning Oracle or MySQL or SQL Server. So you have to choose Oracle here. You choose Oracle, and then you are providing the information of Oracle system identifier, the Oracle port which is being exposed, using which you will be pulling out data from the database. Then
Mm-hmm.
application remains global in this case. Username, the username that you have to provide is actually the schema name that you will be utilizing in the Oracle database, and its password, right? So the Oracle user and Oracle password that you will be using to access that Oracle host. And then you have to provide the host name of the Oracle database server. So which will be something like this. And then you have to define what type of query you want to do, whether you are going to do the full table scan, getting all the records from the table, or you are going to do differential scan, meaning you are getting only the delta values of the delta records from the table. Meaning at a particular time when you pulled out data from the Oracle database, you mark a timestamp within your database which will take care that the next time you import data, you do not scan the whole table from Oracle and pull out all data. Instead, you will only get the differential data after the time when you imported data last time. So you will be only pulling out data after that time, right? So the records that were created after that time, you will be pulling out that information from the Oracle database. So you choose that type of query here, and then you put a query timeout value. For example, if there is network lags or something, you can put a query timeout value of 30 seconds, depending upon how your Oracle administrator has defined our timeout value for the Oracle database connections, right? And then you can put the connection timeout value, and then you also specify within the schema that you have used what table name you are going to access and data you are trying to pull from what table, right? And then you are using the use last run date time. So you using this checkbox, you will the if you are not doing this all rows from the table, you will use this use last run date time to pull out the differential data from the table. So this will make sure that you pull out data from the ServiceNow table, which is from Oracle table. In this example, we have this AC location table. So you are trying to pull out data from this AC location table, and then you are trying to store that into import set table here. So this is the staging table. Now, once you have that staging table, you get data from the AC location table into the staging table. Now you can apply certain rules on this data that you have imported from this table. Because now from this staging table, you are intending to bring that data into the ServiceNow tables, which will be your application tables. And your application table may or may not have the exact same structure as you have in this AC location table. If the structure for the AC location table and the ServiceNow table, the target table is exactly the same, then you do not have to do any transformation. You do not have to transform the data that you have received into this staging table. You will simply push that data from the staging table into the target table, and that's done. But if for some reason the table that you have in Oracle and the target table that you have in ServiceNow, if there are structural differences, or if there are data type differences, any sort of differences that you have, or the column name differences, then you have to transform that data, apply certain filters or apply certain logic to that data, and then push that into the target table, right? So so you bring data from the source table into the staging table, and then you push data from the staging table into the target tables, and then you can attach frequency to it. So you can create scheduled imports. So the imports are that you created, you actually go ahead and create a scheduled import that will make sure that you attach a frequency to this, right? So by attaching a frequency, you will ensure that the script that you created or the import set that you created is run on a daily frequency or a weekly frequency, a monthly frequency, periodically, or at a parent runs, after parent runs, right? So you define what is the frequency that you want this import set to run, right? And if you want to run it conditionally, you want to run it without conditionally, if you want to run it as a particular user, all these kind of information that you can utilize to schedule this import set. And your import set will fill in your target tables using the data from the source table according to the instructions that you provide in import set and schedule import data.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yep.
now within this data source, I'll open this one more time. So if you are to integrate this with LDAP, so within this data source example, instead of choosing JDBC, you will choose LDAP, right? And then you will identify the LDAP targets. So you have to open this. Here you will have to identify the LDAP target that you want to choose and from where you want to bring that information. So you have to provide the name of the LDAP, then you have to provide you the OU information, the RDN, the query field, the table that you want to use, where you want to push the data into ServiceNow, and the LDAP server information you have to provide here. Right? And then you will test it, and then you will save it, provide that information here on the LDAP target, test the setup, whatever setup you are doing here, to test that if your ServiceNow instance is able to interact with the LDAP server, test it, and then then you can schedule this as a as scheduled imports as well, the LDAP as well, and you can put transformation on top of this as well. For example, you are bringing data from LDAP into certain table, and then you want to transform that data and push data to other tables or the same table. You apply the transformation, save the data, and you do that in undefined frequency. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Other method could be to import data using a file. So you may use CSV file, CSV tabular file, XLS or XLSX or XML file to bring data from different file formats to ServiceNow instance. So you can do that too, right? Importing data using these file
Okay.
formats.
Mm-hmm.
So these
Now
two,
we
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
We actually now we are going from PeopleSoft to Workday. If you heard about
Yeah.
Workday,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so they are going to provide the data. Earlier they were providing data through Oracle server. Now they are going to provide data through flat files.
Okay.
So that is a yeah. Yeah, so we have to change our methodology now.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay. So we'll be discussing about all these things. Uh, so
Yeah, yeah.
if you see in this example that I have here, hang on. Kumaran is quiet. Kumaran, please get your doubts cleared.
Yeah.
You can
Oh, no,
interrupt at any point.
no, no, no. I'm not going quiet. I'm listening, first of all.
Sure,
So if you didn't doubt came in my mind, I surely ask you,
sure,
Rahul.
sure.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
So there are several steps to these. I think one of these steps is to import data. So here we are talking about importing data into ServiceNow using a CSV file, and later we'll be trying to do an import using a database as well. So basically, I'll also create a SQL Server database and put these tables on SQL Server database on a remote computer and in AWS or something, and then we'll try to pull data from that AWS, database server to our ServiceNow instance. So that will give you an idea of how to pull out data from a remote database server into ServiceNow. Okay. All right. So we only have 4 minutes left. I don't think I'll be able to complete the application. So because
That's fine. I mean,
I think
continue tomorrow.
yeah, I think we'll drop it off now. We'll have to find more time